This happened about 2 years ago, but it still creeps me out to this day. I figured sharing it here might help me get it off my chest, so buckle up. It all started when I moved into a new apartment. Well, not new. It was one of those older buildings with creaky floors and that slightly musty smell that no amount of air freshener can mask. But hey, it was cheap, and I needed a place fast. The weirdness began pretty much right away. My first night there, I was lying in bed scrolling through my phone when I heard this faint tapping. At first, I thought it was just my upstairs neighbors or something, but then I realized it was coming from my closet. Yeah, my closet. I'm not ashamed to admit I just froze for a second, trying to convince myself it was just the building settling or maybe a draft. But the tapping didn't stop. It was this steady, deliberate rhythm, like someone was tapping their finger on the inside of the closet door. I finally mustered up the courage to check it out. I grabbed my phone for light and opened the door, but nothing. Just some empty hangers and a box of winter clothes I hadn't unpacked yet. I laughed it off, nervously I'll admit, and went back to bed. Over the next few weeks, the tapping happened every night. Always from the closet, always around the same time, like 2 or 3 a.m. I'd open the door, look around, and find absolutely nothing. I even started leaving the closet door open, thinking maybe it was the latch or something causing the noise. Nope, it still happened. Then things escalated one night. I woke up to this intense feeling of being watched. You know that sensation, right? Like your skin is crawling, and you just know someone's staring at you. I rolled over and glanced toward the closet, and I swear to God, the door was slowly swinging shut. My heart nearly stopped. I'd left it wide open when I went to bed. I stared at it, trying to rationalize it. Maybe there was a draft. Maybe the building wasn't level. But as I was sitting there, paralyzed, I heard this faint whisper. Just one word. Leave. That was it. I noped out of bed, grabbed my keys, and spent the night at a friend's place. The next day, I went back to the apartment in broad daylight, armed with coffee and a serious pep talk. I was ready to convince myself it was just a bad dream or my imagination running wild. But then I noticed something that made my blood run cold. The box of winter clothes I'd shoved into the back of the closet. It was sitting in the middle of the room. I hadn't touched that box since I moved in. It was heavy, and I'd specifically stuffed it in the closet to get it out of the way. There was no way it could have moved on its own. And the closet door, it was shut tight, even though I'd left it open when I bolted the night before. At this point, I was officially freaked out. I called my landlord and asked if anyone had ever mentioned weird stuff happening in the apartment. She hesitated for a second and then told me something that made my stomach drop. Apparently, the previous tenant had moved out in a hurry. No notice, no explanation, just up and left in the middle of the night. And before that, the tenant before them had died in the apartment. She said it was natural causes, but something about her tone made it sound off. That night, I decided to set up my phone to record. If something weird was happening, I wanted proof. I propped it up on my dresser, facing the closet, and hit record before going to bed. Honestly, I didn't sleep much. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, every little creak and groan of the building putting me on edge. The next morning I checked the footage. Most of it was just me tossing and turning in bed. But around 2:30 a.m., the closet door moved. Not a lot, just a slow, steady creak, like someone was pulling it shut. Then, right before the recording cut off, there was this shadow. It moved across the room, not like a person walking by, but this amorphous, dark blob. And I swear at one point, it turned toward the camera. 2 glowing dots. Eyes, maybe? I don't know. But they were staring right at the lens. I didn't stick around to find out more. I packed my stuff that day and broke the lease. I'd rather take the hit to my wallet than live with whatever the hell that was. So yeah, that's my story. I still don't know what was in that apartment, and honestly, I don't want to. Sometimes, ignorance is bliss.